All right. All right.
3 for 3 podcast coming at you live, middle of the week. Fellas, first of all, Happy New Year's. Paul Nelson, Frank LaFata, Alex Gullett. Guys, 2023, here it is, baby.
2023.
Here it is.
He's a jolly good fellow.
Listen, my New Year's resolution, for everybody to know, was to help somebody out. Boom, 1201. Help my wife out. Done. This year's golden for me. I'm done.
You killed it. You crushed it.
Done.
Whoa.
You crushed it.
Yeah, it's a new PR, baby. New personal record all day.
You crushed that.
Helped your wife out.
I can, yeah.
It's a PG show, bro.
listen. Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. We are the 3 for 3 podcast where we talk sports, life, and everything in between. Today it's going to be an in-between show.
It is.
I don't want to spoil the ending, but today we're giving out marriage advice.
Man, I'm so excited for this.
That's it. Check the rings, baby. Check the rings.
Yo, we got them.
We got the rings.
We got them.
Hey, there's no Charles Barkley here, baby.
Those poor
we got a
ladies,
ring.
but we got them.
Got more rings than Russ.
We're going to go ahead and talk about some would you rather, some NFL would you rather for the present and future. We're going to play a game called NFL quarterback as NBA player, where you guys try to guess which NBA player we are going to compare to an NFL quarterback.
Dude, it got wild there in a minute. I'm not going to lie. I can't wait for the answer.
It's going to be interesting. Let's see. Again, full transparency, because, again, unlike the college football playoff, we like to tell the people why we're doing what we're doing.
That's right. That's right.
Completely stole this from Ryan Russillo's podcast.
It's a great episode if
Thanks,
you haven't
Ryan.
seen it.
Thanks, Ryan. You know, I just love the way he spells his name. Ryen.
Why not?
Ryan.
Do it how you want.
Just-
It's your life. Live it.
That's great, but that's okay. He said people would take it. We're taking it. Thank you very much. If you're
He
not
said
cheating,
don't ruin it, though.
He did say, yeah, we're gonna do it justice.
We're going to try.
We're gonna do it Justice Winslow, NBA transition.
Ooh.
But to start off the show, let's have a little would you rather. You know, when you were a kid, when you always play would you rather do this, live here, go to the beach,
It's like the
or
MASH
the mountains.
game. You remember the MASH game?
Oh yeah,
Mansion, apartment, shack, or house?
I was always a shack.
Yeah.
You know, but it was always, hey, you're gonna have your dream job, be a teacher. They said it's a great position,
And you did it.
I did it. I
You
made
did it.
for all the money in the world and summers off, all those day off in the summer that I get to spend.
For anybody that's not between 18 and 40, you might want to look up MASH, because I know you don't know what this is.
They probably know.
Honestly, if
It's
you're
an app.
above
Yeah, they probably
25,
know.
It's an app. We'll have to. You know what we'll have to do.
let's get a comment. If you're below 25, do you know what MASH is?
Do you know what MASH is? If not, we're
Honestly.
going to do, on one episode, we're going to play MASH.
No, we're not.
We are.
Let me tell you,
But
that's
only
gonna-
with superheroes.
That's going to be great viewing. People watching us MASH. And for those of you guys who are over 70 years old, yeah, it's a TV show too. We like that TV show.
We do, yeah.
Shout out MASH.
MASH. That's
you know?
right. Yeah.
But for the first thing, let's do a little would you rather, okay? We're not talking about beach, mountains. We're not talking about snow or sand. We're going to talk about quarterbacks at first.
Let's do it.
So the premise is this season, who would you rather have this season to finish out the season, playoffs this season?
So 2 regular season games, playoffs. Boom.
Correct. The first one we have Joe Burrow, a.k.a. Joe Cool, a.k.a. Joe Brrr, versus Justin Herbert. Frank, why don't you go ahead and go first, man? Who would you have?
I think this is an easy one. Personally, I'll just take Burrow. It's simple
Boom.
to me. It's simple.
It's
I
pretty
don't
simple,
really
right?
think. I think that it's a good conversation and it's fun, but Burrow is definitely hands down. He's cooler.
He
I
is
mean-
cooler. He's cool. Justin Herbert needs a haircut. Like he seems, like he's
So-
okay.
So far, let me get this straight. Because again, we're keeping score, fellas. We have Joe Burrow because he's cooler,
And he needs a haircut.
and Justin Herbert needs a haircut.
Yeah.
This is, guys, when we say sports life and everything in between, this is so far we are in the in-between area.
I think it makes sense.
I disagree completely with both of you. I would pick Justin Herbert. Yeah, I know, right?
This doesn't happen. The
I
reason he
think-
sits in the middle.
This normally doesn't happen. Normally, I'm the one trying to reel you both back in, and apparently that's what we're doing this episode. Justin Herbert is more athletic than Joe Burrow. Okay,
Is he though?
he is. He absolutely is. Their numbers are very similar. I think where we really need to look at is coaching ability. Can they adjust on the fly? Now, Joe Burrow has had some terrible games this year. There have been games this year where he has looked absolutely average, mediocre.
I'd rather play one terrible game as Joe Burrow than a great game as Justin Herbert.
That is, as the kids say, cap. Yes, I'm gonna start calling you Steve Rogers. That's so cap because that was horrible and awful.
I'm capping.
Listen, I think when it comes down to it, the athleticism of Justin Herbert takes the cake over Joe Burrow. Now, I'll give you, Joe Burrow has had a postseason run last year, but the question isn't who would you want going forward, who would you want just during playoffs. The question is who would you want to finish the season and go on. And if it's me, I'm taking the kid out of Oregon that everybody disrespected and has looked like a statistical darling.
But when has he won?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I think we were
When-
pretty
when
close
is
to
he
this
there?
year. Frank, tell me if I'm wrong. I think we were pretty close to after this year. If he had missed the playoffs again, which he almost did, and you had to remove him from those four guys that
Wrong.
we talk about.
Wrong.
Last I checked,
He had a janitor as wide receivers.
That's okay.
he did.
I mean, like, it was
He did.
horrible.
I mean, listen, no disrespect to Joshua Palmer. Okay, no disrespect.
Shout out radio.
No, I literally just disrespected you. I apologize.
Well, okay. Shots fired by Frank LaFada. See me in the alley, bro. It's
Should have had Joe Reed.
I bet that's how Justin Herbert says bro. Like, bruh.
bruh. Listen, bruh.
Bruh. I'm going to leave the stadium on my Razor skateboard or something, bruh.
I think that Zach Taylor is a better coach than Brandon Staley.
I agree.
Okay, so if you agree with that point, then very basically, Justin Herbert has done more or of equal value as Joe Burrow with a lesser coach.
Yeah, but I think to me, I don't care what they've done. I'm taking Joe Burrow.
And listen, you like I always say, you are entitled to be wrong as much as you want on this
Thank you.
podcast.
Appreciate it.
We love you still, Alex Gullett.
Love is here.
I think what it boils down to, again, so we got 2 votes for Joe, 1 for Justin. They're both great quarterbacks. They're both probably on the Mount Rushmore with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. I don't think I'm disrespecting anybody else, right? If
Trevor Lawrence.
you want to come at me with Lamar Jackson, great. Yeah, I am disrespecting you.
Trevor Lawrence.
I just don't think yet.
Not yet, but
Maybe.
he's
He
close.
could be. He's knocking on the door.
Close. He's close.
Knock,
He's
knocking on the
close.
door.
He's close. Like, he's one of those guys that he's not on there, but he could be above there.
Yeah, like this guy is superior talent.
No, not above Patrick Mahomes.
No.
He's going to be.
Patrick Mahomes is going to be goated.
This is going to be the goat year. This is going to be make or break for him. For me, can he rise to the Brady standard that he was being built up to before early in his career? This will be the year that says yes or no.
That's great. So okay, so the consensus. Listen, I will let you guys. All right. So just so we know, Joe Cool to being on the right side of history.
What's with Joe,
Paul.
guys? What about just Joe? Like that, he's got that Joe Montana, Joe Theismann.
Broadway Joe.
Joe
He's got
Namath.
that
Joe
swag,
Cool.
you know,
Joe
like-
Namath, Joe Montana.
He's it. You know, like he's just.
You
got
see
that
him hit
feeling
the what is it? The gritty. What is that
Gritty.
thing called?
Hit the giddy.
The
Hit
gritty.
the giddy. The giddy's like this.
The giddy
gritty. Yeah, he does the.
What is
does
that?
This is, speaking of giddy up, something that Cowboys say, which is our next comparison. So again, our next one is who would you want for the rest of the season in the playoffs? Kirk Cousins, you like that, or Dak Prescott? Now I'm going to make you wait because, as our
Please.
fans know,
Please.
you are Mr. Cowboy. Okay, that's again. I would make a Yellowstone reference. You wouldn't get that, but we would. So I'm going to let you go first, Frankie. Who do you have, Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott?
All right, give me a little bit of uninterrupted time.
That was directed at you,
Exactly.
boss. It's just so you know.
Don't you start.
Pod-
There's no
Podfather.
booze.
The Podfather himself has got to sit out for a minute.
Here it comes.
So here's what's happening. When you look at the stats upon the careers, especially since-
Upon the careers. Can
There
we
goes
stop
that
30
un-
seconds.
uninterrupted.
30
that
seconds.
lasted 5. Yeah, we got to take a couple.
Can we
minutes away from
stop
that.
there? When we look at the stats upon the careers, we're not telling a storybook here.
be quiet. Anyways, so here we go. So when I look at the two stat comparisons from Mr. Kirkish Cousins and Dakish, I can't win playoff games very well, Prescott. Where we go with it is you get a better touchdown to interception. They're actually kind of even. Kirk Cousins wins per game average more than Dak Prescott. for
Per game
on the
average, he wins more.
on the touchdowns. When it looks like when I compare the teams and look at wins and losses, They're both about the same. Dak Prescott's had a superior team most of his career over Kirk Cousins. Listen, when I look at just about every statistical stat like QBR, stuff like that, Kirk Cousins wins. And all of these things point to Kirk Cousins. And because of that, I'm taking Dak Prescott.
Thank you.
I'd rather have Dak Prescott. I don't trust Kirk Cousins.
Thank you.
You played for the Redskins. And yes, I said the Redskins because they weren't the Commanders then. I don't trust you. You have not proven anything to me. So
Primetime Kurt is real, and that's all playoff
Dak has
football
been
is.
in pressure games his whole career because he plays in the Star, and so I'm taking the fact that he's been there more often. So this year, because that was the premise of the question, what were you taking this year? I'll take the guy who's been under the pressure longer and knows how to handle it a little bit better versus a guy who's with a whole bunch of young guys trying to win an NFL game.
Okay.
Yeah, so twist of fate, I had a bunch of stats that I deleted
Sure you did.
because I did. I had like where Kirk Cousins ranks.
Kirk Cousins came in and deleted all those.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what we do know is that Kirk Cousins, if you look at all of those stats, is he better than Josh Allen?
No.
Stats say he is.
I don't know what
You know what I'm
stats
saying?
look
Like,
but no.
He has yards per game, touchdowns, QBR, all of that for this year right now is ranked higher than Josh Allen.
Okay.
And we don't even discuss it because it's not even close.
Josh Allen and half an elbow.
Kirk Cousins is the Carl Kuzma of the NFL.
He's Carl Kuzma.
Carl Kuzma.
Kyle Kuzma,
Yeah.
Carl Kuzma,
Yeah.
Kenneth Kuzma,
like
the
when
whole Kuzma
you know
family.
when Kyle turns into Carl? Like, that's who Kirk Cousins is.
Listen, I picked Dak. There's no reason to go in with hatred and hate-filled things right now.
I'll give you some.
I'm not
because
gonna hate. Like, Kirk Cousins is a decent.
You've already attacked Josh Allen. You've unleashed the monster. I'm
No,
sorry.
I said Josh Allen's clearly better, but Kirk Cousins' stats say that he is.
check in the
I did-
comments if he said that, because I don't know if I heard that.
I know I
I
did.
didn't
I said
hear
it's not even close. Josh Allen is the number 3 quarterback in the NFL right now. I stand on that.
This
And-
guy.
and
This
so-
guy.
We're reaching the
I'm
I'm
taking
telling
Dak.
you, I'm gonna go Bills Mafia. I'm gonna
taking
put him
Dak.
through a table. It's gonna happen one time.
gonna
Okay.
keep the Dudley
Don't
boys.
forget, I'm the strong kind of fat. All right. Don't forget.
Get the tables. Shout out to the Dudley boys.
Shout out WWE.
Jeez. 3D. I'm going Kirk Cousins, and apparently it's just my day to be correct on the podcast, or at least different. That's okay. Different matters. Yeah, the stats are the same. They're very similar stats. I understand Dak has a little bit more athleticism. Then again,
Intangibles.
I could care less about intangibles. Intangibles, like I said, I think I said this through a text with you. Like, intangibles just means, hey, I like this guy. You know who doesn't have any intangibles? Somebody I don't like. He has no intangibles.
Russ Wilson.
He can't. If it's intangible,
Justin
it means
Herbert.
it cannot be measured. Correct.
Russell Wilson.
So it cannot be. You just can't.
Let's
measure it.
ride.
Let's go. 3 for 3 podcast. Let's ride. I would go with Kirk Cousins still. I think this really is determinant on whether you really look at your quarterback and say, I don't want him to lose us the game, versus I need my quarterback to win the game. I think they were both very blessed with offensive weapons around them. I like Kirk Cousins' style of gameplay a little bit more. He is not. I mean, it's not until the last 2 years when they got your boy Jay
Jettas.
who single-handedly practically won you a couple fantasy leagues.
Shout out to the fantasy league, the homies.
So I like this idea that he is going to manage the game. I think we need to stop looking at game manager like our dads did. Shout out No Hate Dad. But
Brad Johnson.
listen, Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, those were game managers back then because you ran the football and you counted on your defense. Today's game manager is, I still need you to throw 2 touch. Jared Goff is a game manager.
Jared Goff is playing well.
Throw the ball to everybody. Go ahead and make sure you don't turn it over.
You know what Detroit doesn't have? A quarterback problem.
I think they might.
They absolutely do.
I think they might.
Stop it.
We'll see when they pick C.J. Stroud if they have a quarterback problem. So I just want to end it with this. I'm good with you guys picking Dak over Kirk. I'll stay with Kirk Cousins. I just have one question for one Alex, the Podfather Gullet.
What is it?
Who's your fantasy football in the homies league? Who's your quarterback?
I paired them up. I tried to tell these guys all season, like, You let me sneak this in on you, man. They gave me Kirk. They gave me Jay Jettas. Here I am in the finals. Mr. Joey Elliott, you're going to get it. You're going to get it good because Kirk's going to throw 3 touchdowns. Jay Jettas going to catch 2 of them this week. They're going to kill Green Bay this week, and I love it. I'm still taking Dak Prescott.
Sounds like a pick for Kirk to me. So we're going to call that a
Still
2-2
taking
tie.
Dak Prescott.
The last one is an interesting one. Again, this is our last current QB. So it's for this season only. Jalen Hurts or Mr. Relevant himself, Brock Nathaniel Jebediah, not his middle name, Purdy.
This is closer than those expect.
Not being funny, the way you said Brock, I thought you were going to go
Lesnar. Alex, who would you pick for the rest of the season? I mean, Jalen's banged up. Brock is on an unbelievable run. Who would you pick?
Here's what I'm good. Here's what I say. I have right now in my notes
Don't do it.
Brock Purdy. Here's why.
Good job. Good job.
Here's why. I think when you're playing playoff football, a few things matter. Health, number 1. 2, for young quarterbacks, which last time I checked, Hurts still has no experience winning in the playoffs. Expectations matter. What I do
We're
know,
comparing him to Brock Purdy.
as
Okay.
Mr. Irrelevant, he has no expectations to perform in the playoffs. The team does, but he does not. Jalen Hurts has all the expectations. And I think offensively and defensively, San Francisco is a superior team. Throw the records out the window. They have way more weapons everywhere on their team. Give me Brock Purdy, set up for more success. He's healthy. He's young. No expectations.
Yeah. Frank, what do you think?
I think this is the worst question of them all. I think
First of all, you didn't have to bring in questions into this, okay? You
I don't-
just go on to your point.
You know, this is our podcast.
I'm going to
Frank.
go ahead and
this is-
Paul,
deduct points.
Support your
Negative-
podcast, bro.
-3.
Alex, I'm proud of you for not picking the Eagles quarterback just because it's the Eagles quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
You took Brock Purdy, and you're acting like there's no pressure. You don't think you don't feel pressure to be the reason that they lose? With all the
Absolutely
weapons
not.
around them?
He's Mr.
You're
Irrelevant.
crazy. That stuff exists.
7th round, bro.
On the other end of that, it's not even close. It's Jalen Hurts. It's not even. I don't know why this is a conversation. If maybe the injury bars the situation and stops him from getting the MVP. Most likely will because Patty Mahomes is he's Patty to God out there on the football field. But
Do you know
he's
Jalen
the
Hurts' middle
MVP
name?
without being hurt.
Do you know Jalen Hurts' middle name? Just asking.
Makes me
It's is.
is
Jalen is Hurts.
But Jalen makes me hurt, so it might be better.
It is
That's another
Hurts.
2-1 for you. That's 2 points for you, Alex, but that's 3 for you. That was good.
It is Hurts.
Makes me hurt.
But no, it's Jalen Hurts. It's not even close. I'm not going to say is he a better quarterback? I don't really care. The question is who I'd rather have, and I'll take the guy who's top 10 leading rushing touchdowns. He is an absolute headache defensively to try to stop. With his team and what's going forward and what's happening and the way he's taking hold of that system, it's really not a. I mean, like just to take Purdy is because you're a Cowboys fan.
Ezekiel Elliott's top 10 leading touchdowns, too.
And now let's see a non-Cowboys
FYI.
fans take Purdy because I built all this up.
Now, the shoulder issue is an issue. Maybe.
Is it really?
Maybe.
Is it?
It's espionage.
I don't know if it is. I think Nick Sirianni doesn't know if it is either. I think the way he's played the media is beautiful. Gardner Minshew filled in okay. Is he the best backup? Maybe.
Shout out to Uncle Rico.
Shout out the stash.
Bet I can hit that mountain.
See the mountains over there? I threw the ball clear over them.
Clear over them mountains.
Coach would have put me in, it'd have been different, man.
I could have played Division 12 football.
I could have went
I could have played for Southwest Missouri Tech. It's an electric lineman school.
Eat the dang quesadillas.
Quesadillas.
Tina?
Listen, I think for 13 weeks of the year, this was a non-question. The fact that we're talking about it, and there is some discussion about it, is completely relevant, which is where I'm going. I think it's Brock Purdy. I think football's weird. Football is, Frank, you said on a different podcast how things are poetic. I think sports, like life, can be poetic. And I think just what Brock Purdy is doing this year, we don't see it often. I mean, we saw it with Doug Flutie. We saw it with Tom Brady. I think because we're talking NFL, we have to talk Tom Brady, right? Aren't we
You
obligated?
have to.
Yeah, I think that's a rule.
We fulfilled our contract.
There you go. Check it out, TB12.
Did it.
Still hate you. But I think Brock Purdy, I think there are expectations, like you're saying, Frank. I completely agree with you. I think he's coming in, but I also think that he's allowing the team to put more trust in him. I think he has played himself into conversation where the 49ers are going to have a decision to make. They're going to have a tough decision to make in the offseason. Who do you go with? And I know it's crazy. Trey Lance was the third pick. They moved up a ton of draft capital to get him. But I think there's a real conversation.
If I'm San Francisco, I can't trust Trey Lance.
I don't know that. So I'm going to go. I would rather have Brock Purdy. Now, saying that, I hope the 3-for-3 jinx isn't put on him. But so far, what we've done in the pod, listen to the other
Is
pods.
that a thing?
And you'll notice, there is a clear 3-for-3 jinx. So if we have that power, then, I hate being broke. I hate when stuff works at my house. So if there's a jinx, then hopefully there.
That's it.
Now, you teased on something, Alex, that I do want to get into. So looking beyond quarterbacks, because it is a quarterback-driven league, but again, for the rest of this season in the playoffs, which offensive weapons would you rather have? I think there's a real discussion between San Francisco and Cincinnati. So who would you rather have there and why?
Ooh, good question. I think with Debo being hurt right now, he's out again this week, so he's not playing this week. I'm taking San Francisco. I think Debo comes back. He's had a couple weeks of rest. Christian McCaffrey changed everything about San Francisco.
Yep.
The way Brandon Ayuk is getting open. You got George Kittle still who's getting,
You were on Ayuk early. You were on Ayuk early.
was I not? Yeah.
You were.
I
just
was.
said you were.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you noticing.
I mean, he didn't produce like you said he was going to produce. He's been a great
okay.
receiver.
Oh,
All right.
thank you.
We got to let
Not
him cook.
consistent.
Sorry, I complimented you. My bad. Keep going, buddy.
I don't understand what this is about. So listen, George Kittle, he hasn't been showing off by any means. He had 2 touchdowns last week, but he's getting on that like 4 catches. George Kittle used to have to carry the middle of the field. Man, Debo's coming back. Then you got Ayuk, Kittle, Debo, and then that man in the backfield. That crazy Christian McCaffrey man in the backfield. And Brock Purdy. Come on, man. And that defense is crazy.
Yeah, Frank?
Oh yeah, it's definitely San Francisco. I mean, I'm taking the weapons. I'm not looking at quarterbacks in this because
Yeah, just offensive weapons.
yeah, just offensive weapons. I'll take McCaffrey over Mixon. I'll take I will take Chase, but I will take Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle over
Skittles.
the rest of the company and
Taste the rainbow. Taste the 49ers.
No, nobody's tasting the rainbow. Ew. I'm definitely taking the 49ers.
It is just
Good
my
pick.
day to disagree with you guys.
Good pick.
All right, so here's my thought process.
No way. Come
I
on,
know.
for
Listen,
real?
Yeah.
Hey, Paul.
I broke this down very analytically. If anybody knows me, it's logical, it's analytical. That doesn't mean, Alex, because I can already hear him thinking, saying, analytics, analytics, Paul. It's the eye test, brother. Go look at the eye test. So I broke this down as, all right, so offensive line. I feel them. I feel them right now.
you're wrong from over here.
So that's you're entitled to. Offensive line, San Francisco clearly has the better offensive line. And I think that does count as offensive weapons.
Easy, especially
I
with
think-
You
Collins
said
being
San
out.
Francisco has a better
Yeah,
offense?
they do. Statistically, PFF, they have the better offensive
And you're
line.
still going with Cincinnati?
I'm going with
Okay.
because
Didn't
because Cincinnati has cleared up their offensive line issues. They went from I think 28th last year in offensive line to now they're top 10.
And then they lost Will Collins.
That's fine. That's fine. Again, the gentleman who filled in for him week 16, I think he did fine. Week 17, we're good. I think you're fine. Running back. So I give San Francisco the edge for offensive line.
So they-
running backs though, Christian McCaffrey is great, awesome. Who's their backup?
that guy.
Exactly. Now, I love Joe Mixon. I love Pirine even more. Samaje Pirine is that guy I think you could start on a lot of teams. So I'll take the two-headed monster of Mixon and Pirine being able to interchangeably. I know that Kyle Shanahan is going to have some trickeration in there. We're going to put a little trickeration in there, as George W. Bush would like to say, right? A little strategery. But I like Cincinnati being able to roll out that and not have to rely on Shanahan. Now, the question is offensive weapons, okay? We're not talking about better coaches. That's another discussion we'll have about other people. When I look at tight ends, Kittle is clearly better than Hayden Hurst.
Absolutely.
He is clear. And there are two versions. Kittle is Jekyll and Hyde. Because some weeks you go, he's not even on the field. Where is he?
And on those weeks, he's still better than Hurst.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll listen to say anything. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But then if you look at wide receiver talent, give me T. Higgins, give me Jamar Chase, and give me Tyler Boyd all day long.
They're the best triplets in the NFL.
So when it comes down to it, I like the skill position players, running back and wide receiver, over the tight end. Now it's close, but give me Cincinnati over San Francisco.
I like Cincinnati's wide receivers way better than San Francisco's. The backfield and George Kittle won it for me. I think Christian McCaffrey is a Swiss Army knife on the field that Cincinnati does not have. That they can get the ball to in a million different ways. And George Kittle.
I just worry about health. I just worry about as soon as McCaffrey goes down, which again we've seen a lot. If Joe Mixon goes down, that's fine. They have Pirine. If McCaffrey goes down, I'm not sure what they do.
If McCaffrey goes down, I switch to Cincinnati.
I would like to
But
take
with-
back. I rescind my offer.
Yeah, and I'll make sure we have that conversation on the next cast. But if he does not go down, I'm sticking with San Francisco.
Now, speaking of coaching, I think if we talked Zach Taylor versus Kyle Shanahan, I think there's no question. Kyle Shanahan is a legend coaching. Zach Taylor had one good year, and I think his offense hides a lot of his warts. But the coaches I want to talk about is 2 first-year head coaches. We hinted at it in the last podcast a couple days ago that we're going to be talking about young coaches. There are 2 first-year coaches that I want to know who would you rather have for the rest of the season. That is the Dolphins coach, Mike McDaniels, who's just a wild man. He is
Love that guy.
He is so much fun to listen to. I mean, he's just crazy. And then you have the polar opposite of him, Brian Daboll in the New York Giants, who is just stoic. His bulldog self just pacing the sideline. So who would you rather have? Frank, I'm going to go with you first, buddy.
It's a tough one, but I'll take the Giants head coach. And the reason why is because the turnaround in New York is more impressive to me than the turnaround in Miami. Miami has by far got the better weapons, and somehow the Giants have put together a season that has blown me away compared to what I expected them to do. They have me thinking Daniel Jones might play next year there, and that still seems impossible in my mind, but it's an option that I didn't think he'd play this year, much less next year.
And who's his best wide receiver?
It's
Darius Slayton right now.
there's shadows.
Until he gets injured.
There's the ghost of Odell Beckham is the best receiver he has.
Dabble got hands. Maybe he'll go out there.
I'm just saying, don't get me wrong. Saquon helped. Saquon helps everything. Say any problem you got a cut on your arm, put a little Saquon on it.
Saquon, penicillin, Barkley.
Saquon can fix
He's the
anything.
Robitussin.
He is.
He can
He
make
is.
Penn State relevant. He can make this team relevant. My point for the situation is that I think that if you're coaching in New York and you're succeeding, you win more points in my favor than coaching in Miami and succeeding.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess Alex isn't going to pick the same one you did. Alex, who you got, buddy?
This is going to be a shocker. The rival NFC East or the other guy?
No, man, I think it's pretty easy here. I don't trust Mike McDaniel as much as I trust Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in that offense. And I think maybe, as you said, the offense hides some warts in Cincinnati. I think it's easily the same thing in Miami. I'm not at all calling him a bad coach. I think the guy is tremendous. One of my favorite people in the NFL. But if I had to say, give me this coach right now, man, the job Dayball's done. Bro, that dude... I mean, I'm looking at New York, and before the season, when I looked at it, I was like 4 wins.
He should get a negative point for actually taking.
I'm
4 wins,
I'm giving
5
him
wins.
3 for going against his better
And,
judgment.
and the way I look at it is Saquon does help, but to be the quarterback whisperer to Daniel Jones,
Is he
Bro.
Is he the quarterback whisperer or is the offense coordinator? Doing
no,
Daniel, this is Brian. Hey, Daniel, I just want to tell you this. Run, Daniel. Daniel Slayton's there.
Listen. Shout out to Billy Wilson.
Shout out B-Dub, man.
Shout
I
out
love you,
Bill.
brother.
Love you, man.
How about them Giants, those G-men?
No, he's not doing that. Don't ever do that.
Those G-men.
You say it, and it still sounds like you're dissing them.
I am. But so, but if I was saying which coach, man, it's Dayball. And plus, he came from that system, McDermott, who's proven, who's great. Yeah, man, that's a great coaching tree.
You know
Keep
where
it
else
there.
he came from?
Where's that?
Where do they play the best college football, Alex?
Roll. Should I say it?
Say it.
Ohio State.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. They came from the Saban
Roll
tree.
Tide.
They're cheaters.
So they're cheaters. Okay. Yeah,
Here we
all right.
go.
So, yeah, for the first time tonight, we're all in agreement.
Three for three.
I would
Three
take
for three.
3 for 3. We are 3 for 3 finally. So I would take Brian Dabble as well. But I think that it comes down to a personality issue. Mike McDaniels, listen, I know he's getting his flowers this year. I know everybody loves him. He is the fair-haired child of the NFL. He's the new Sean McVay. Everybody loves him. He's boisterous, and I would trade all the picks for
I get a
for
feeling like
Tyreek.
he's trying to be their friend more than he's trying to be their coach,
I-
and that's where
well,
I actually
that's
don't
okay,
like
though.
the guy that much as
Well,
a coach.
I just think that he doesn't listen. We killed Kyle Shanahan for, I believe he was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta when they lost to the Patriots 28-3, right? Well, he was there. He's Teflon. It just slides right off. McDaniel's been with him every step of the way. And he somehow doesn't get any of this backlash. Brian Dabble went again, he was the offensive coordinator at Alabama. I hated his play calling. Absolutely hated his play calling when they went with Jalen Hurts over Tua when he was there. Okay, then he came to Buffalo, which broke my heart. I could not wait for him to leave.
He shined in Buffalo.
But he helped. He and Ken Dorsey, the current offensive coordinator, former quarterbacks coach, helped Josh Allen,
Shout out Cleveland Browns.
along with Stephon Diggs, to achieve a new level in Buffalo. And for what he's done with the New York Football Giants, who play in Jersey, what he's done there has been nothing short of amazing. The amount of injuries that they deal with, and we always say, you got to deal with injuries. It's part of the game. But I'm with you guys. We are 3 for 3.
Trade their best wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get him out of there.
Yeah,
And it doesn't slow him down.
he's going to get Daniel Jones a 3-year, $60 million deal. Probably.
Come on.
I mean, that's wild.
With the Colts.
Maybe with the Ravens. Maybe, who knows? The last one that I have for this current season is home field advantage, and we're going to pick the two places where I think it's very difficult to play for two very different reasons. We're going to pick the Buffalo Bills of Orchard Park and Philadelphia. So, which is the tougher home field? Which home field would you rather have? Frank, why don't you go ahead and hit us off, buddy?
West
Oh,
Philadelphia,
this
born and
is
raised.
so hard. This is so hard because I like the Bills more as a team and organization. But there's no doubt in my mind that nobody wants to play in Philadelphia. Those fans are freaking ruthless.
Cowboys
In
do.
every sport. No, they don't. They don't want to play in Philly.
Cowboys do.
They'd rather play in Dallas.
They booed Santa in Philly.
I mean, this
Christmas is
Philly
over.
is a different level, and Fly Eagles Fly is a thing this year. I'm just saying those fans in Phillies are different. It's not more because they're both cold weather stadiums, so they're going to affect every Southern team the same way. Don't get me wrong. There's no cold weather like Buffalo cold weather. It's a different type of cold over there with that lake effect. But Philadelphia's fans make up for the hate and the venom that is spewed. Like the Bills were throwing snowballs at the players, and they were like, "Oh, don't throw snowballs."
Yeah.
Philadelphia would have probably put like
They were handing them out.
They would have put like firecrackers.
They would have
in
put
it.
they'd have put screws in the snowballs.
Snowballs, get your snowballs here.
Okay.
Throw them, chuck them at the
Yeah.
players.
If Philly had that opportunity, there would have been some murder cases, at least attempted murder. There would have been a couple assaults. It would have been horrible. But in Buffalo,
Jaywalking. I mean, they would have all kind of things, right?
Yeah,
it'd have
for
been
sure.
it'd have been atrocious. I believe there's multiple jails underneath Philly Stadium for a reason.
Alex,
Frank, I think
You
you
agree
missed
with him?
the most important point right now. Number one, it ain't Christmas no more. I'm not worried about those Philadelphia fans. But you know why I choose Buffalo? Here's why I choose Buffalo. Because there's superior talent in the AFC. And if we're talking this year, I don't want to go to Kansas City. I don't want to go to Kansas City at all. I don't want to go to Cincinnati. They got to come to Buffalo. I don't think Philly's scared to travel anywhere. I think Philly, I mean, realistically, as a Cowboys fan, you're looking at Philly and San Francisco are clearly the best two teams in the NFC. I think Dallas could beat them any given Sunday, but I don't think we're as good as them talent-wise. I still think we could win. Buffalo needs to play at home. because Patty Mahomes in Kansas City is the truth. So I think home field advantage is more important than AFC.
Didn't Buffalo beat Kansas City in Kansas City already this year?
They did.
They did.
They did.
Just
Stat checker. Let me see.
checking.
Go ahead and do that twice, my man.
Just checking.
So I'm going to go Buffalo. I do think, like you said, lake effect snow is a real thing. I think we saw the snow globe game. I mean, just the fact that it can go from, okay, yeah, it's cold out there, it's -4, awesome, great, and then by the third quarter you're going, nobody can hang on to
And the wind is crazy.
Listen, it's frigid in Buffalo. It's cold in Philly. I get it. For me, the bigger thing is Buffalo fans seem to stay loyal to the Bills. Whether they're winning, losing, whatever. We've gone through years and years and years of having a terrible team. Okay, I could realistically.
They're really nice people.
They're really nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Shout out.
They're
all the
they're
family,
nice like Canadians, though.
all the family in Buffalo. Shout out Tim Hortons.
They're all Mounties.
Now, what I think could happen though is I could realistically see Philly having a first round bye, and then in their first round game, right, in the divisional game, I can see Philly fans booing their team in the third quarter.
They will.
If Jalen Hurts is having a terrible game, they're going to let you know.
They will.
So,
Without a shadow of a doubt.
it's so to me, it's Buffalo. I'd rather be in Buffalo.
Listen. When you said home field,
Yeah.
there's a point when Philly doesn't want to play in Philly.
You're-
like when I
you're
say it's that
absolutely-
venomous,
Right.
So
like,
true,
so
though.
what's the better home field?
So I think it's Buffalo.
No.
I think if you're trying to win a
definitely
game,
Buffalo.
it's Buffalo.
I can just I can see Dallas there in like the fourth quarter, and I can see machetes pulled out and
The Purge. Are we
Glock
talking
knives.
Philadelphia Purge edition? I
It's
mean,
a thing. Philly is a.
They're really not as
fans
bad
are
as the
real.
Cleveland Browns fans. Like, let's be real.
Yes, they are.
They're not.
They're by far the worst.
They're
They're
not.
not the worst. They're by far the most venomous. The Phillies have the same effect too. Nobody wants to play in Philadelphia.
Oakland
Phillies.
Raiders and
I think that
Cleveland Browns are the worst.
The Eagles fans are up there with the Utah Jazz fans. It's places that people just don't want to play. Same with the Boston Celtics fans. The opposing players just don't want to play there.
Shout out Karl Malone. Utah's still holding on to you, brother. We're not.
Don't-
They are.
Listen, Frank, don't talk about Boston.
Don't talk
okay?
about Boston.
Don't talk about Boston. You're not from Dorchester. You're not from Southie. You're not from anywhere in
Go ahead and get you a
Massachusetts,
Wahlberg
right?
burger.
You go ahead and talk about it again. We're going to go ahead and take you outside the harbor.
Wahlburgers suck.
Wahlburger.
Okay.
Take that.
Off the rails. Life, everything in between, guys. All right, so now I do want to go 3 more, right? We're going 3 for 3. So these are 3 questions about the future, okay? So
Rapid fire.
Who would you rather have going forward? Both these guys are had a train wreck of a season. Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson?
Give me Russell Wilson.
Why is that?
Russell Wilson.
Kyler Murray is a disaster. Russell Wilson succeeded before.
I take the. Don't get me wrong. If I'm talking for a whole career, I think Kyle Murray's just in a bad situation right now. I don't think the coaches are doing him any justice.
I think he
don't
did
believe he's
that,
a
though.
diva. I don't think so. I think he's still a great quarterback, and I think he's not a fluke. There's no way those stats and those games and the playing making ability is a fluke.
The stats
But
upon
Russell
his
Wilson,
career.
for me, I've hated the Seahawks, and he's suffering in Denver, but I believe he's hurt. I think he comes back next year, and he's a Pro Bowler. I believe the Broncos are in the playoffs. I believe they might even be close to a bye. I mean, I think they're going to be that good next year. Their offenses, they got 2 great young receivers.
How do you know they're great?
Oh, Judy and Sutton. right?
They're real.
Yeah.
They're real.
Judy and
so,
Sutton.
and I think that if he gets a little healthier, Russ he's a great deep ball passer. He's very accurate, and he's just not it right now, which leads me to believe that he's injured. So, I trust in what I've seen, and I've seen Russell Wilson win Super Bowls.
Culture matters.
I've seen
Nathaniel
Kyler Murray
Hackett sucked.
win nothing.
First of all, I'd like to just point out that's the first time I've ever heard you say accurate the right way on the first time.
Accurate.
I like to say I like to make up words.
It's-
Accurate is my favorite, but I did say accurate.
all words are made up, brother. So I mean that works. But I have Russ too. I think we are 3 for 3 here. Especially if we're talking the next 3 years, the immediate future. I'll take Russ Wilson. I think it was a bad fit with Hackett. I think that's why they got rid of him. I think Hackett wanted Aaron Rodgers, and when they couldn't do that, they said, Russell Wilson. Okay, we'll do that too. I do think Javonte Williams going down early in the season did not help their case. Yeah, he had a terrible season, but I trust Russ more than I trust Kyler.
In no way, shape, or form am I dissing Kyler Murray here. I really believe that Russell Wilson's a top 5 NFL.
You don't have to
quarterback.
defend it, bro.
I know, but I want to just put it out there. I don't think he's a trash can like everybody's making him out to be.
I think he's
he's a
horrible.
top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I just think Russell Wilson
Kyler
is top
Murray?
5. Yeah.
Is a
I
top
think
10 quarterback
when
in the
he's
NFL?
healthy, that boy is dynamic.
No way.
He don't need no milk. That
No
boy's full.
way.
I don't know what that means. So I'm going to go to the next question. To two other guys that might not need any milk. I don't know. You're the milkman now.
Got milk.
So this was probably more
Shout
accurate
out milk.
earlier in the season than it is now. But I do think that there is some kind of discussion. Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence. By a mile. Not even close. Rad racer.
So I'm going against my Ohio State brethren. I'm taking Trevor Lawrence.
Have you ever been to Ohio State?
Listen, I've been becoming a fan, and you guys have hated on them so much with the Alabama talk lately that I've gone farther into my rabbit hole.
Were we wrong?
He's becoming a fan
Yes.
because
I don't think we were wrong.
We'll find out.
We'll see. Listen.
Saturday.
It
By the
speaks-
time this
it speaks for
plays-
itself. It speaks for itself.
Saturday.
Yes. So, but my point is, I think Justin Lawrence is Justin.
You just mashed him up, Justin Lawrence.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mr. Lawrence.
That's Jennifer Lawrence's twin brother. Shout out Hunger Games.
If you were going to make the best quarterback ever.
Justin Lawrence. He's got Peyton Manning's vision. He's got
Shout out Hunger Games. Shout out X-Men. Shout out any other
Passengers was
movies,
okay, man. It was underrated.
decent. But no, I think he is the next Aaron Rodgers-esque type of player. He's going to
Wow.
be here for a long, long
good
time.
I
praise.
agree.
I think Justin Fields is one injury away from being a non-factor in the NFL.
He's the next
And I think-
generation Lamar Jackson.
I think Lawrence has years. His arm strength, his accuracy, his intelligence, it's all there. I think that Lawrence is the pick. And the reason why he went ahead, and I don't think the Jags got it wrong. And then with their trade next year, or with their trade this year to pick up
Ridley, yeah.
Ridley, to go with the receivers they already have with Mr. Zay and who's the other gentleman?
Marvin
Christian
Jones.
Kirk,
Oh,
Marvin
gosh.
Jones.
And they have a decent
Calvin
Evan
Ridley,
Ingram.
Calvin Ridley, you can bet on it, baby.
It is.
Yo,
It is.
bet on that.
Ooh.
Bet on it.
Take it to the bank.
So I pick Lawrence. I think Lawrence here, Lawrence now, and Lawrence in the future.
I picked Trevor Lawrence for now and the future, but it's a lot closer than everybody thinks. I don't think it's a mile.
It's a mile.
I think if you just talk about
it's
total
not as close.
offense,
It's a mile.
what they bring, again, Frank, your dad, Anthony, shout out, love stats. Let me give you some stats, right? So per game average for their careers and games started, Justin Fields gives 234 yards of offense, 33 total touchdowns, 25 turnovers. That's 1.34 touchdowns a game, right? With 1.08 turnovers a game. His team has won 21% of the time. Trevor Lawrence, 250 yards of offense a game, 43 touchdowns, 41 turnovers, which is less touchdowns per game and more turnovers per game. Now, the team is better. Listen, nobody's debating whether the Jaguars are better than the Bears. The Bears are in line to get the first or second pick in the draft this year. I do think Trevor Lawrence can take it to another level. I don't think he's ever had to deal with adversity. Maybe his rookie year, he dealt with some adversity, but there was
really
no
the whole
expectations.
Urban Meyer thing?
Well, yeah, and that's why I don't think it's – I think he's Teflon. I don't think anything sticks to Trevor Lawrence. I don't think we say that that's adversity for him because there were no expectations for, hey, you're going to take this team to the playoffs. No, everybody said the same thing. You always say, oh, well, Peyton Manning threw a lot of picks. He had 28 interceptions his rookie year, which is stupid. I think for Justin Fields could be, if I can make the Josh Allen comparison, hold off, Bills fans.
Whoa.
Calm
I'm
down.
one of you.
Stop.
One of you.
Stop.
I can't
I'm
take
one
the
of you.
pass.
Whoa,
Stop
whoa, whoa, whoa.
now.
Let me explain.
Whoa.
Hold it. Wait a minute. Let me explain. Okay. Josh Allen dealt with accuracy issues in college.
Still.
Dealt with accuracy issues his first 2 years in the league.
Still.
If Justin Fields can make the same type of progression, if they can go out and get a true number one receiver, which is not crazy,
Shout out Claypool.
they can go, like I said, a true number one receiver. Okay. I don't think it's unrealistic that Fields can make up the ground to catch Trevor Lawrence. But like you guys, I think we're 3 for 3 here. I would pick Lawrence right now.
5,280 feet, bro.
You're
1
going
mile.
to take this You're going to take this ball and run every one of them.
You can't count to 5,280.
Just did.
Don't have to.
Quick math.
Shout out, remember the Titans? Lindsay Nelson, favorite movie.
Yes.
She says it word for word. The last 3 for 3 we have with Would You Rather is going to be a future question as well. And it's Detroit and the New York Jets. Now, these are both teams that have surprised everybody this year and outperformed kind of where they should be. Alex, which franchise would you rather be and why?
This is super close. But you know what? I think defense wins championships. If you can build the trenches, you're going to do better. I'm going to take Detroit, though. So I think Detroit.
that was a complete swerve.
Well,
Yeah,
you said trenches. Detroit got that offensive or defensive lineman who's
Go ahead. What's his name?
Hutchinson.
Aiden.
Aiden
That's
Hutchinson.
right.
He's an edge rusher.
Great
Yeah.
job, edge rusher. No, I like Detroit's weapons on the outside. I like what they have going on offensively, first of all. Williams, Swift, if he can stay healthy. Jared Goff. Listen, I'm not opposed to Detroit not going after their quarterback in this draft or in this offseason, keeping Jared Goff and keep building the interior, keep building your defense. You're going to be all right, man. That offense is legit. Give me Detroit.
Yeah, Frank?
I love Detroit. And I love Detroit for the fact that they can replace their quarterback. That's the exact opposite reason. I love the fact that they can replace their quarterback with a good draft pick. Plus, they have the Rams draft picks from the Stafford trade.
Yes.
That's where I'm leaning on, is the fact that they're going to have multiple high-end first-round draft picks this year and maybe in the future, depending on – because the Rams organization could completely fall apart at any given moment, and Detroit would be there to pick up every single piece that they dropped. And that's why I said, I'll just take – I like Detroit's picks. I like Detroit's multiple weapon package. Although they're always hurt, but they have a two-headed monster. They have multiple good wide receivers. They have a young defensive line that is here to stay. They're just a good team. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the Jets too, and it's close. It's real close, but I'll take Detroit.
You know what my problem is, if I just really quick? I think when I look at the Jets, my only problem is when a team usually takes and busts on an early quarterback pick, it sets them back a couple more years.
They've done it twice,
They've done it twice.
Yeah.
but they still coming.
Maybe. Yeah, I looked at the Jets, and they hit on both their first-round picks. Garrett Wilson looks good. Sauce Gardner looks great.
Where did Garrett Wilson go to college at? Oh, sorry.
The Ohio State
Nobody
University.
cares.
The Buckeyes.
Yeah, okay.
He won't sniff 1,000 yards this year.
Brees Hall, again, before he was injured, he was really, and again, that's a Frank LaFada fantasy football jinx. Listen, they need
He
to
was
figure.
looking like Reggie Bush.
They need to figure out college Reggie Bush or like New Orleans Reggie Bush.
First young Reggie Bush in New Orleans.
Okay, so
He did very good before he got obliterated.
What Reggie Bush did to the Dallas Cowboys year one broke my heart.
Salah, I think Salah's okay. I don't think it's a team that prioritizes quarterbacks. I know, let's see, Mike LaFleur and their quarterback coach, Rob Calabrese, they've never kind of helped a young quarterback. So I think they have to go out and, is this a Lamar Jackson destination? Is this a Jimmy Garoppolo destination?
Derek Carr.
It has to be, could be a Derek Carr trade destination. They have $16 million in cap room for the offseason. Detroit, they have 2 first-round picks this year. They have the 7th pick and the 15th pick right now. They have Jared Goff, who is a good bridge to a young quarterback.
Absolutely.
That could allow them. They have the draft capital to move up. They could go pick Quentin Johnson from TCU as a opposite wide receiver from Amon-Ra. I mean, the man looks great. He looks like the steal of the draft.
Jameis just came back.
Yeah, and Jameson Williams, right?
I mean-
he looks amazing too. He's coming off an injury. Looks like he's gonna be healthy. The players seem to love Dan Campbell. I don't see it, but that's okay. I don't need to see it. I'm not playing for Detroit, so the players seem to love him. They have $28 million in cap room too, so they can go make moves. They hit on Aiden Hutchinson. I think what it boils down to for me is they have 5 picks in the first 3 rounds of this coming draft. Detroit is locked and loaded, ready to obliterate the draft. They still have a chance, an outside shot to make the playoffs. So you're, again, looking through the windshield and the rearview mirror at the same time. I think that the quarterback room is more solid. And the last thing is Detroit's in a division that's could change any time.
Absolutely.
I mean, Aaron
Very
Rodgers,
winnable.
who knows when he's going to just go crazy and say, you know what,
Dip
I'm
out.
out. Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, are they for real? I don't know. Maybe not. And Chicago is clearly in rebuild. So give me Detroit because Josh Allen's not in my division.
Shout out Dan Campbell. I really think Dan Campbell is the kind of dude, when Kevin's family comes home and Home Alone, I think Dan Campbell cries. I really do.
He's a wild man.
He is.
I want to bite the ankles of. I mean, he was great on Hard Knocks. He's a fun coach to watch. The whole idea where he said, "Hey, it was like week 14." He goes, "Yeah." When they threw the ball to Penei Sewell, I was like, "No, what are you doing?" And then he called. I was like, "Oh yeah, good call." So, I mean, he is a motivator of men. Apparently,
He is. Great culture setter.
might not be an X's and O guys, but hey, sometimes you don't need that.
You know, X's and O's aren't culture, so that works.
Now, one thing that we know is important in the NFL is quarterback, right? So what we have is a game from the Ryan Russillo podcast called "If This NFL Quarterback Was an NBA Player." Okay, so the best example I can give for the viewers and you guys is, again, if Tom Brady was an NBA player, he would be
Michael Jordan.
no, it's got to be a current. Sorry, it's got to be a current.
Oh, well,
no,
there's no comparison to the GOAT.
Well, considering his
Aaron Rodgers would be LeBron James.
considering there was no flash in the pan, his longevity, it's definitely LeBron James.
I
it's
agree.
definitely LeBron James, right? So again, 20-year career, past, still in a high level of play, even 20 years in is amazing. So again, what we'll do is I'll name the quarterback, and then you tell me who you think their NBA comparison is. Okay. So the first one we have Patty McTouchdowns himself, Patrick Mahomes. Alex, who you have?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
The correct answer from the Ryan Russillo podcast was Steph Curry. So
Boom.
yeah, absolutely.
It had to be his craziness and his
It's-
wonkiness.
yeah.
It's
That's
just
the only thing that measures.
the no-look passes. I mean, the no-look pass, the crazy pass arm action compared to Steph pulling up from half
Do you
court.
see? I saw a video of college quarterbacks now doing stupid wonky passes now because of that. There's like and I literally was like, it's definitely Steph Curry.
And then
Yeah.
their college coach says, "Sit the bench, boy." Like, we're not going to have you.
Do you
that
remember when
anymore.
I beat you in the Steph Curry LeBron James argument?
No,
that
'cause,
was a mock draft. But
Preseason doesn't.
future podcast we're going to have Sports Court where
Remember-
we might have a debate with Steph Curry
where
versus LeBron James.
I said Steph Curry makes kids want to be Steph Curry. Nobody tries to be LeBron. Everybody tries to be Steph Curry. Same thing with Patty Mahomes. He made the no-look pass, like in football a
It's,
thing.
it's like saying kids want to be Steph Curry over trying to be Shaq. That's because Shaq's 7 foot something and a monster.
I'll two-hand dunk on you tonight.
You couldn't dunk on a 4 foot rim.
I always wanted to be Birdman, so that's just me.
Come on.
Aaron Rodgers. Who would Aaron Rodgers be if he was an NBA player? Who would he be?
I wrote down two, and I couldn't decide between them.
Okay.
James Harden or KD.
I got KD.
Yeah. So Ryan Russillo, their show said Kevin Durant. Way to go,
Well,
fellas.
I thought about the James Harden thing, and I was like, well, great offensive talent. Like the guy's superior offensive, probably going to be a top 2 or 3 offensive talent ever in the NFL, but he can't get it done.
So the comparison was, hey, asked out, wanted to be traded early on, then changed their mood early in the season this season.
That's true,
and,
too,
and-
yes.
And they're ending the season playing
Which is
well.
why I wrote down the
So it's
KD
Kevin
thing.
Kevin Durant, absolutely. Good job. All right, so we're getting the hang of this. All right, so the next one, this could be a polarizing one. You might not agree with what Ryan Russillo said. Russell Wilson, who is he as an NBA player?
Paul George.
Paul George. That's interesting.
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson. Interesting. All right.
I wrote down 2. I had either Paul George or James Harden for my second pick for James Harden.
James Harden can't be picked every quarterback.
It just fits. Like James Harden, like
James Harden does not get
Russell
every
Wilson
quarterback.
demanded out. James Harden demands out all the time. Neither
You
one
don't
of them
get-
lived up to the
you
hype
don't
where
get
they
2
went.
choices per shot
Like-
either. You got to start picking one.
Listen,
Like James Harden Nets thing that happened, and then Russell Wilson Denver. Like
so this
last
is
time.
this is what I love. This is my second favorite thing to say is Yeah, Alex, you're right. You're,
Boom!
It was,
You're right
it was,
on
it
the
was
one
James,
or the second
James
one.
Harden.
See,
James,
that's what I'm saying. You get 2 picks. I'm going to get it right. every time.
I just couldn't make up my mind. It's slash.
so
it's not two.
the
It's
idea
slash.
was, hey, you
So
know,
it's Paul Harden.
went to Paul Harden. He sounds like a character from Breaking Bad.
Well, we got Justin, what's his name, Lawrence. So we got Paul Harden.
Justin Lawrence and Paul Harden. That's the new podcast, the 2 for 2 podcast featuring. But yeah, the idea was change teams. Struggled at first. Are we going to see they're getting up there a little long in the tooth in years? So yeah, it was good. The next one, Josh Allen. Do not screw this up,
This
fellas.
one's so hard.
I got 2 people.
Okay.
Surprise. Zion or Giannis?
You can't do
and
that.
I couldn't
No,
remember.
you can't do that. You
I
pick
couldn't-
one now.
I couldn't
You
think.
pick one now.
All right, if I have
no,
to
this
pick-
is not happening.
Do you want me to pick one?
You pick one now. I'm over this.
All right.
And then I'm going to pick 2.
I'll pick one. I'm going to go with one.
Okay. Pick the right one.
I'm going to go with my first thought. It can't be Zion. It has to be Giannis. The reason is Zion's had injury problems. Josh Allen does not. He doesn't miss time over injury. So I understand the freakish athleticism. That's why I picked it. But Giannis is actually called the freak.
True.
So like
He is called. Well, let me check. Let me see. He is.
He's
He
a
is
freak?
called the freak.
he is called the
That's
freak.
Another point. For
And
Alex.
so I went. I'll go Giannis instead of Zion. Giannis.
Okay, Frank.
I'm going to speak to our podcast.
Please speak.
Orientators heart.
speak
I'm
to
going
me.
to say Luka Doncic.
Ooh,
I'm
no
thinking.
way.
I'm thinking a guy who has all the tools to do whatever he wants whenever he wants to do it on a football field is the same guy who has all the tools to do whatever he wants whenever he wants to do it on a basketball court.
As much as it pains me to say this,
I was,
does
hoping
Giannis-
I'd get a point there.
does Giannis have a championship?
He does not. He does. Yes, he has one.
He does.
For,
He
Sorry,
does.
he has one.
for those watching, he does.
If you're keeping score,
Does-
Giannis has one.
He does.
Does Josh Allen have a championship?
He does
No.
not.
That's why it can't be Giannis. It is Luka Doncic.
Shut up.
So,
Shut up.
Frank, you do. You get an extra point.
I don't
Plus,
agree with
the-
this, and I'll tell you why as we go on later.
per
The fact
player
that you
pick?
said, you're bringing it to my heart. My two favorite people in the world, other than my family and my students at Cumberland High School, and if I see you on the street, is going to be Josh Allen and Luka Doncic. So that was good.
I don't agree, but we'll move on.
And for the fact that I picked it in less players and I'm still tied with you gives me a slight edge.
Shut up.
I'm keeping score, fellas. Right. All right. I have one job to keep score. I got this.
I don't agree.
The next player, Lamar Jackson.
Ben Simmons.
Ooh.
What?
Wow. Oh,
John
interesting.
Morant. John Morant's who I picked.
He is not John Morant. Lamar is too limited to be John Morant. Lamar.
Lamar's not limited. He's got a cannon. He's just not accurate, just like John Morant.
So he's not limited. Got a cannon, but he can't hit the wall. Like, no, bro.
So-
Mike
according-
Vick had a cannon, but he couldn't hit the wall either.
He could hit the wall. All right, so according to the Ryan Russillo podcast, it is John Morant. He compared and said
That's
both
wrong.
young talent. I think Ben Simmons is not skilled enough to compare to Lamar.
Freakish
Again,
athleticism.
Lamar Jackson
does
won an
one
MVP.
thing really well.
See,
Ben Simmons has never been in the MVP
When-
discussion.
When you do the top things,
John
these next
Morant's
names-
never won an MVP. And so we can't even talk that. Listen, here's why. Let me defend it really quick.
Who's
and we'll
better,
move
Ben
on.
Simmons or
No,
John Morant?
stop doing this, Alex.
Stop. Well, I don't think Lamar Jackson's even close to who I have John Morant as. Justin Fields, who still has a lot
Ben
more.
You
time to
just
get-
gave away your pick. How,
Don't
how
care.
dare you? This is
So listen,
bad viewing.
Lamar Jackson, Ben Simmons. The reason is they're both really great at one thing, but they both have the most important thing they should do. They suck at. Lamar's a quarterback, can't throw the ball. Ben Simmons, the point guard, can't score the ball. It's a point guard scoring league right now.
Sounding
in
like
the
you
NBA.
like you should be a former GM of the Colts.
Listen,
right now.
listen. I don't. Whatever you're doing, it sounds like sour grapes.
It's not.
Sour
It
grapes are
sucks
okay.
to be
Shout out.
second in this.
Well, the
and
great
you're
thing is
there.
that Ryan,
So
as
you
much as
suck.
I like your podcast, you're not always right either. That's wrong. So
and how much he
I-
likes your podcast, he's not right
I
either.
disagree.
actually
Ryan's
think-
right.
I think he's right.
So we got Derek Carr next. Again, benched.
This is
maybe
where
for the rest.
it's
So Frank, who do you have before Alex says his two picks for
I
Derek
have
Carr?
two for this one.
So
I have
no,
two.
so for so you can't pick two.
Bradley DeRozan.
No, stop. You can't do this.
Bradley
You can't just
DeRozan.
name names.
You can.
Okay, no. you
DeMar
cannot.
Beal.
I'm going to name 42 names for 12 players. We'll see what I get.
DeMar
Someone
Beal.
Jones.
You can't do this. This is not allowed.
Who do you have, Frank?
Ugh. Okay, so this is before the benching that the list came out. I took that into effect.
Okay.
Zach Levine.
Ooh.
I was
Good
thinking
choice.
about who he
He's
is.
so mid.
He's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of different attributes that make you want to love the guy, but for some
Attributes.
reason you just can't. You just
catch
can't
that?
love the guy.
Got that one. Attributes accurate. Wait, who are you, man?
Listen, I've
What is
been
what is
new
going on
year.
on this side of the table?
shout out to my wife. You ask her. I've been going around the house saying big words.
He's going.
correctly
Hey,
all week.
what's the speech one you have to do before you record? Days. What do you have to say? Mary Gumball. What is it?
I just know your New Year's resolution might have been.
You used
I'm
to
going
say it all the
speak
time.
clearly and say words that mean things.
Frank, say
Shout
it.
out to my wife.
Say it really quick. You used to say it all the time.
What?
What is that? You before you would record, you would say something on video.
I say a lot of different things before I record on video. Samsonite,
Samsonite. So close.
Walla Walla, Wish Bang.
So according to
Chubba chubba.
according to
the rain
Chibba
falls
Hubba.
plainly in the mainly in the plains.
That's the one.
So according to the Ryan Russillo show, again, who they had was Bradley Beal. You both hit on it. That was good. That was Bradley Beal, meaning that hey, I don't know if Derek Carr can ever be the guy.
I
that
didn't say
takes you.
Beal, but yeah, I just said Levine.
Oh well, I mean,
Well,
yeah.
because Alex picked
I think
14
it's the same.
players.
I
you
think
don't
it's.
get that one.
I think it's the same type
No,
of
he
player.
did not
that
say-
You,
okay.
you don't know. You don't know that you can.
All right,
you
so-
guys are. Alex, you got that correct. Calm down. Calm down. Calm
No,
down.
he don't get it
Breathe to
correct.
10. He
Stop
got it
it
I
correct.
with the
said
two at a time.
Bradley DeRozan.
This is crap.
Okay, off the rails. Geno Smith, next guy. Geno Smith. Alex, what 4 players do you have for Geno Smith?
I only have one, and I put Laurie Markkinen. Struggled in previous franchises, comes into Seattle and is thriving. I love what Laurie's doing in Utah, so that's where my pick is. Laurie Markkinen.
Oh gosh. All right. So because I know that I'm going to pick DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan, interesting pick.
I'm going to pick DeMar DeRozan.
Alex is absolutely right. It's Laurie Markkinen. Struggled early in their career. Again,
7-foot guy from
had some-
Yugoslavia.
First of all, he's from Finland. Okay.
Shout out Peyton Tolley to going over my list with me.
Words are your strong point tonight. Geography is not.
I'm going to tell you right now, Alex. You watched some of the Russillo show. There's no way you got this.
Shout out
together.
Peyton Tolley for going over my list with me this morning.
Peyton, you watched it.
Okay, so the next one, I'm going to look at your list. Carson Wentz. There's no way you did not watch a Ryan Russillo show.
There's no way. If you
Okay,
got Carson Wentz,
Carson Wentz.
who you taking, Alex? You go first. I'm going to match.
I'm going to tell you. he's-
You can only pick one person.
yes.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to pick yours.
Who you going with?
Russell Westbrook.
Who you going with, Frank?
I pick Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, dude, I almost did that. I actually asked Peyton this morning.
Yeah, you
Is it more
watched the
Kawhi?
Ryan Russillo show.
Kawhi won
Collusion.
as the main guy. Wentz won a ring, yes, but it was because he was watching
No,
Nick
I
Foles.
actually just dislike them both, and that's where it came down to.
I don't even think
It's-
about the rings, though.
I think you have to take it into consideration.
I don't.
Okay, moving on.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
You're absolutely right. Again, Russ Westbrook. This was this. Hey, they thought they had something preseason, and then next thing you know, benched.
But I tell you what, it's not Russell if he keeps playing the way he's playing and Wentz struggles this weekend. I changed my pick next week.
Okay, we'll see. Next guy is who took his job, Taylor
I
Heineke.
swear on
You're looking at his sheet.
swear to
Who
God.
do you have as Taylor Heineke?
I have the Colts mascot Blue. He's really fun to watch on the field.
I got one that's might be a little bit. I don't know. I got Jalen Brunson.
I think that's
I like what he brings to the table. I just don't
disrespectful
think
to Jalen
That
Brown.
is
I don't
so
think
disrespectful.
I think I love Taylor Heineke. I think he's a great player. I think he's super motivational, and I think that's what Jalen Brunson's doing to the Knicks. He's making it a fun place. to
Shout
play.
out Blue from Indianapolis, man. Go Colts. Listen, every time I see you, you're dancing. You're making the fans go crazy. People are having fun around you. I think that's what Taylor brings.
Is that
That's
on
it.
his paper? Can you read that for
Right,
me?
it is.
Okay,
His
I was
Colts
gonna say.
mascot
Colts
Blue.
Because
mascot
I think
Blue
he
is on
just
it.
changed
He
the
did-
last minute just so he wouldn't look like he
He
watched
did
Ryan
misspell Russell Westbrook. He put one L on Russell, but that's
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
That's
Behind
like
a
having
curtain.
gullet with one T.
So Ryan
Goulet.
Ryan Russillo had fan favorite New Orleans Pelicans Jose Alvarado.
Ugh,
He's
I would
not.
never even
He's
thought
he's
of
gonna
it.
have.
that's
He's gonna have
good.
some
I like
games
that.
where you
Pretty
go,
decent, though.
wow, you helped us win the game, but he's never gonna take something over.
And that's your guy.
I love Jose
You
Alvarado.
stand by Alvarado.
I think for the price point that he is a complete effort player.
Can I say this?
Moneyball wise,
I've never
he's
thought-
Paul's favorite.
I've never thought NBA and Alvarado popped into my mind.
just like
Never.
NFL and Heineke. never pass me a Heineke. All right, well we have Bud Light. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh no, that's the quarterback. The next guy, we talked a lot about him the last podcast earlier this week. Captain Kirk Cousins.
I have 3 answers. I'm gonna give a first name, a middle name, and a last name.
I was gonna say.
It's Brandon Carl McCullum.
It's interesting.
Brandon Carl McCullum.
Brandon Ingram,
Kyle
Kyle
Kuzma. Or-
Kyle Kuzma.
Did you take 3 players?
He took 3.
I told you
3 for
first,
3
middle, and last
podcasts.
name.
No, come on. Bro.
I'm going to go with Carl
If you
Kuzma
get
because
this
I said
wrong,
it earlier.
If you get these wrong, you get 3 strikes against.
All right, so it's Kyle Kuzma who's my pick is.
He's got a shot.
All right, I'm gonna take somebody. I'm gonna take because it's Kirk Cousins, and I wanted to throw a little dig at Alex. I'm gonna take one of his former favorite players to ever watch in the NBA, Paul George.
That's so wrong, though.
Well, nobody got it. Again, nobody
Alex
got it.
with
I
his
like where your
14
head's
shots.
at. It was like Jordan Poole.
Ew, I
Jordan
don't
Poole.
like
This
that at
idea
all.
that is when the lights are on brightest, can he shine? Poole hasn't really shown that he can.
He can when there's women in the front row.
I mean, that's Kirk Cousins. Can he win you a game? Maybe. Can Poole win you a game? He's never had to. Kirk has never had to. He's got Jettis. He's got Cook. So that was it.
I mean, playoff P is a thing. That's kind of where I really got it from.
Yeah, but
I was thinking
he,
playoff
Playoff P.
he dispelled a lot of that stuff last year.
Did he?
He did.
Did he?
Did he?
He did.
Win
Did he?
Because he went to we won. One.
Shout out P. Diddy.
I think he did.
Shout out. Even though I'm not a complete Lakers fan, I do ride for LeBron, and I still hate the Clippers. Shout out for us being on the same side. Over here, high five across. There we go.
Okay. Trevor Lawrence, T-Law, not Jennifer Lawrence, not Justin Lawrence.
Oh, that's
Trevor.
who that is.
I have 2 for this one.
Trevor Lawrence.
Stop, Alex. Stop.
I'm
Come
only going to
on.
name one.
Thank God.
John Morant.
Zion Williamson.
You guys are really going in. So what they had is actually a younger player.
So, younger than Zion or John Morant?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Remember, Trevor Lawrence is only
Is it
second season.
Wimbanyana?
It'd be Anthony Edwards.
No.
I don't like it. I
Anthony
don't like
Edwards.
it.
Yep. That messes up my next pick.
Anthony Edwards. Well, I'm sorry.
I don't like it.
Anthony Edwards was the pick. Anthony Edwards. Justin Fields is our next guy.
Oh, no, I'm not taking that.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton, really?
Zion Williamson.
Yeah, they're showing a lot of promise. Fields has had a couple really good games this year. Halliburton's coming on really well. They're both really young, and they have some developing to do. That's my pick.
I was going to take Ant-Man here, but because he's already taken off the board, I'm guessing he's not there. So I'm going to adjust my pick and go Zion.
You
Okay.
can't do that.
It's interesting
you
that you
picked
guys
3 times every
you guys
time
are
you pick.
still going like older players. Again, Justin Fields is in
The
year
guy
2.
is 21.
Halliburton's in
22.
year 3.
Right, which is more than year 2.
Okay,
Last
well, I'm
I
not
checked,
being that
I don't teach
scientific.
math, but I do history a little bit, and I include some math.
Listen, I love my dad, but Ryan Russillo, there's too many stats in this thing.
This
Yeah,
is
like
this is,
I'm trying to go off just eye basis.
that's fine. So what they said was LaMelo Ball.
Don't
LaMelo
like it.
Are we
Ball?
sure?
Don't like
Are
it.
we
like
sure?
that. I
Are we
love
sure
it.
they
Don't
good?
like it.
They're living off athleticism. I
love that.
Can they stay healthy?
I love it.
The next one will be interesting. The next 2 will be interesting because they're both quarterbacks we're probably not going to see again. Zach Wilson.
Darko Milicic.
It's got to be a current player.
Okay. I'm going to go.
Good thing you had 5 names.
I'm
He
going
said
to Wiseman.
blue. He said blue from the Indiana.
Okay. He
Wiseman.
went James Wiseman. Who
So
you going?
Zach Wilson's known for his extracurricular activities more than his football thing, and because of that, I'm going Michael Jordan's kid,
What?
Which one, Jeffrey?
the one that's messing with Scottie Pippen's baby mama.
Jeez.
That's the one. I'm
This
going.
Jesus
show.
God, Frank.
I'm going.
We have
dark.
done so much in between in life. We need to stick to sports right now. Okay. All I'm
I
saying
don't
is
hate the pick, though.
Alex won this one. That's the second high five behind my back. This is. I'm just gonna start doing this. Yeah. So Zach Wilson was James Wiseman. Maybe they need to change.
I mean,
the
how do we
scenery.
not?
To me, that's
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Zach Wilson can't play in the
Good pick.
NFL. Wiseman can't play in the NBA. Let's keep it moving.
Is there an? Oh, maybe Zach Wilson goes to XFL or USFL.
Listen, we got an audience here, and they vehemently disagree with you.
Hey, look, the
And
next one I couldn't think of a person
Listen.
for, so I took a dig at Paul.
The
just
last
for
one's
agreeing.
my favorite. The last one is my favorite. It's Kyler Murray.
Jalen Brown.
Trey Young.
Jalen Brown needs to learn how to dribble, and Kyler Murray needs to watch
Bro,
more tape.
You have
So,
not watched the Celtics this year. Jalen Brown can dribble just fine, thank you. He's going to be an all-star
He
starter.
couldn't in Game 6 last
Number
year,
one
so
seed in the East.
It actually was Trey Young. Trey Young, this idea of superior athleticism, probably runs their mouth a little bit too much.
Yeah.
had one really good run, and then everything else has been. Is it more sizzle than steak?
I like
All
it.
right, so rapid fire, really quick.
I like
Paul,
it because I guessed it.
Paul,
Okay.
you join in with this one.
All
Rapid
right.
fire.
Wait,
Let me
we got
pick
one
it up.
more. We got one more.
No, that was it.
We got Justin Herbert.
No, but I added one to go with
Did you
Justin
take it
Herbert.
up?
I didn't add that one.
So I did.
Well,
I
I
was not
didn't make
privy
it
to
up out of
this.
thin air.
All right, so listen,
I
this is
didn't.
Paul and Frank.
Okay.
Wait. What? Do you guys know who Justin Herbert is?
I do because it's my pick.
I picked him in the Would You Rather. You guys don't know who he is.
Did you know? I mean, like, did you watch the Russillo show? Did he take over Herbert?
He did not.
Oh,
But we can
What-
we can
what-
call an audible.
well. All right, never mind. We don't have to take him.
All right,
I was
well,
just very
all
excited.
right, Paul,
about this
finish
one.
up your Justin Herbert. You got Herbert.
I
written
don't
down?
have Herbert.
All right, so who do you guys? Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. Who are they? It's a pair that came into the league at the same time.
Same time. A pair.
One is clearly better than the other, but there are questions. There were questions, and they've been answered.
I got Herbert as Brandon Ingram.
So wait, no, you said they came into the league at the same time, right? So
Maybe a year difference. I can't remember.
who, in your opinion, do you think Joe Burrow is better?
I think Joe Burrow's Luka Doncic, and I think Justin
Trae
Herbert's
Young?
Trey Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's doing a disservice to.
Luka Doncic?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, Joe Cool
No.
is
Joe
Luka
Burrow
for sure.
is nowhere near 60, 25, and 10.
Bro.
He's nowhere near it.
Bro.
Nowhere. No chance.
Let us know which one you
No,
agree
no,
with.
no. And then on the other end of that, Cincinnati versus the Dallas team, the comparison of the situation, there's no way. You
All
gotta
right.
be like, this is more.
I can see LaMelo, Anthony Edwards being
Yeah,
this
I like
one.
that
I
better.
can't do
where,
that.
Hey, first and third pick.
But now that you mentioned LaMelo, if I had to pick one for him, give me Tua.
Ooh,
Give me Tua.
that's interesting.
I'm not hating on it.
Give me Tua.
I'm not going to give it to you because I don't want it to count as a point.
You got to tell me. It's good, though.
It is a good one. I have to give him a point.
It's
You can't
good.
do that. You can't just make
have
him.
to.
He guessed 47 names. You
I'm-
can't give him extra
Well,
points for made up
Let me
things.
see. Is it 47 names?
It's not 47.
It doesn't look like it.
You count every one of them. He listed,
Hey,
he
we
listed
already-
3 names in one.
But we've already realized, audience and those sitting at this table, that Frank's math does not be mathing sometimes.
Okay.
Especially quick math, which this was. So we don't take a point for 47. Please don't. I want to give him that one.
All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to give you a point for trying to give him a point.
Thank you.
And
Well,
Frank, I'm going to give you 2 points, not for asking a point. There you go.
great job.
I'm fuming.
Okay, I'm taking a point away. Keep fuming,
Take the damn
bro.
point.
Oh, and
Excuse
he
me.
cursed.
Excuse me.
He cursed. This is a. Take it easy, buddy.
But tell me, Tua LaMelo, is it not there?
I
Do you love it? Just say you love it.
I don't love it, man.
But
injury,
do you love
but it could. Yeah, it's something. It's something. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Again, we all love NFL. We all love NBA. So this is an awesome game for us. Again, I constantly watch sports. There's NBA is always
we
on.
need more
I
of
don't-
this.
I don't care that it's Charlotte and Orlando in a game on Wednesday night on the NBA TV. Like, I'm gonna put it on.
Shout out. That's the game we went to last year live.
Shout out.
And
That was the one where Melo threw the.
that was the fight
The
game.
alley oop.
That was he threw the alley oop off the glass to what's his name? The guy used to play for the Lakers, the big guy,
Come on, do it.
the crazy guy with the dreads,
Do it.
Montrezl Harrell.
just
Shout out to the fans, to our fans watching in the crowd that gave me the answer.
shout out
say fans.
stat checker.
That's
Wayne
right.
LaFada,
Stat
stat
checker,
checker. Way to go, buddy.
He went between his legs off the backboard, and
He
then there was
did.
also a fight
He
that
did.
game,
There was a fight.
and they blew the magic out. It was fun to
Speaking
watch.
of fight, did you see the Detroit thing?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That was Mo. I'll tell you what, Mo should get an Oscar because he took a dive.
Hey,
he
look,
took a dive.
Did bro not go face first? Like,
Like, he-
Did Mo Wagner did he really get knocked out?
no,
No,
way.
he-
Did he act like he got
He
knocked
got
out?
Yes.
pushed and he like started going down. Oh my dear. He went down.
He
well, I guess
felt
he's German,
flat-
so he's like nine.
and motionless.
He went down. He went down.
He
By
was
the
looking
way,
for the Yochis
Shout out
brothers.
to Grayson Allen.
Shout out to all the
Shout
all
out
the
to DeMar
MVPs.
DeRozan saying if it was Boban, he wouldn't even have been mad. He'd have laughed. But because it was Grayson Allen, I want to fight.
Now again, as much sports as we watch, there are 3 people we have to thank. We have to thank our wives,
Come
our
on,
lovely
do it.
wives.
Yes.
You know, Lindsay lets me watch whatever I want.
Love you,
It's-
boo.
She's great. Thank you very much. Birthday on January 9th. Shout out. Happy early birthday, my beautiful wife. Fellas, listen, I don't know if we're qualified to give marriage advice.
We're
but
definitely not.
We're going to do it anyway.
But listen up. Take notes.
So next week we might be here. We might be getting fussed at and have some corrections. But Alex, what is your piece of marriage advice to those who are in love and going to get married this year? What you got?
I'm going to speak to the men because I'm a man. So I feel like
fact check.
Can you
Indeed,
check
a
it?
man.
Is he a man?
I can't.
Fact checker.
I don't want to speak.
He
to,
says yes.
I don't want to speak to newlyweds
His
as a whole.
pronouns are he and him.
Yeah.
He's a
They
man.
are. Live in the 2-for-1 rule. 2 for 1 men. Let's use the toilet
Please
seat.
explain because it's getting crazy right
Let's
now.
use the toilet seat as the example.
Okay.
I wake up in the morning. I pour my coffee. I have to go to the restroom. I go and I lift the seat.
Attaboy.
And at that point, when I'm finished, I flush and I put the seat back down. Now, equal marriage rules would say if I lift the seat, you can put the seat down. That's a 1-to-1 motion. That's equal. That's
Sure.
equal. That's 1-to-1.
That's true.
Fellas, live in the 2-to-1 rule. I say that, lift the seat, put the seat down. Your wife's going to appreciate it.
You better give
Metaphorically,
You better give another example. because right now I'm
metaphorically, servant leadership in love is important. We don't keep score. We don't keep track. We don't have to discuss wrongs longer than it is for forgiveness to talk about it and forgive and move on. Servant leadership. Do without expecting. And that's how you win in marriage. And so that's the serious point, but use the toilet thing, man. Lift it up, put it down, 2-to-1 rule. Always do 2 for her 1, and don't ever expect 1. She'll return it. So
Gotcha. Frank, follow that up, buddy.
boom.
Not really.
Toilet talk on the 3 for 3 podcast.
Marriage advice, toilet talk.
100% of relationships keep working if you don't ever leave.
Wow.
Don't ever leave.
Wow.
And I'm not just talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally.
Oh, I thought you meant like for
emotionally.
going to get the milk.
Yeah, no, I mean like as in like you want to know how to stay together?
Stay together.
Stay together. Don't split up. It's going to be tough. You got to wake up every morning, look yourself in the mirror, know you made a decision, and keep it going.
Recommit to it, right?
Every morning.
That's good.
Every morning. Every morning. I think it comes to in every relationship, there comes to a point in where the spark is gone away. But the longer you stay, a new spark arises. It's a different type of love. You're going out of the I'm chasing the predator and prey man thing, the hunt. The hunt is gone. And now it's
Jesus.
lifetime. It goes
Shout
into-
out Andrew Tate.
It goes. Wow. No.
We do not know. That is not
We're
co-signed.
not shouting out.
Stay tuned to Alex's 1 for 1 podcast.
It's not.
We'll
It's the
continue the
second
2 for
time.
2 podcast with me and Frank.
He's going to be doing them in elevators if you didn't listen to the other comment he made.
Jeez.
But for the real point is I'm lost now. I had a point. I was going to slam it home. Give it
My
the ball.
bad. You were doing beautiful.
But so if you don't leave, I know what it was. So after a couple years, the regular hunt is over with, and then it becomes a different type of love. And during that time, that third year is usually when it's the hardest. 2 to 4 years is when it's usually the hardest. After the 4th year, a different love starts coming. And the number one rule in my mind, I always tell people, communication is very important. But if you make a decision every day not to leave emotionally, mentally, or physically every day in your marriage, then you'll always be there and be present.
yeah, that's good.
That was poetic, man.
That's good, bro. That's
Dude,
good.
who is this new Frank that
Hey, look. I
He's-
always tell Frank, like, I want to be like 10% of the husband that he is. Because
he is accuracy, attributes?
my wife wouldn't know what to do with
is-
10% of the husband Frank is.
He was a poet.
What are you talking? Listen,
She'd be like,
let's not talk about what other wiys would do with me.
Oh, jeez.
no, I'm not saying with
Listen,
you.
Next time on Divorce Advice, brought to you by Alex Gullett. Oh, jeez.
I don't
Love you, babe.
My piece of advice actually was been passed on from my parents from my mother's parents, my grandparents, Grandma and Grandpa Johnson said, and this is what I was told early on is, hey, everybody says marriage is 50-50, compromise this and this. It's not. Marriage is 100%, 100%.
Boom.
You have to be 100% all the time. Now, that 100% takes a lot of different forms. There are going to be times when things go wrong, and you might have to carry more of the weight. What works in my marriage is the fact that I am so very different from my wife. Little things bother me. Little things don't bother her. She needs a push every now and again. I need a push every now and again. So remember, it's not 50-50. It's not about compromises. It's 100% all the time. Fellas, great show. Great pod.
Yes.
Again, marriage advice. Let us know what marriage advice you have. Again, comment on the YouTube channel. Hit us on all the socials. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us everywhere we go. Fellas, anything as we sign off?
Man, you guys killed it. You guys killed it.
I'm going to go ahead and overrule a lot of different things. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that Alex
as I'm
did not win this
complimenting him.
podcast. Alex did not win this podcast.
Maybe I didn't. Why? Are
I
you?
didn't win this podcast. Or I think me and Alex are definitely giving the victory to Paul. This
Yeah, Paul wins the podcast.
Yeah, he
No,
can say he
you
kept
can say
numbers,
that.
and he
Paul
keeps
wins
control
the
of everything.
podcast.
He was having to worry about. He was playing referee in between our fights for this basketball moment, and it was getting pretty crazy there for a moment. And we went off the rails a couple times.
We did.
He
Way
didn't
to-
deduct
way to
points
pull
for
us
us.
in.
He didn't deduct points, and he kept us on the rails, and he didn't give himself any points.
I
Listen,
interrupted
okay.
Frank's marriage advice.
I have, yeah. You
I mean, let's be
created
real.
your own podcast on the fly. So the scores, for those of you guys anxiously waiting, Frank actually finished in third place with 7 points.
All right, boo.
Our stat guy, Lane LaFada, coming through, finished in second place. Alex finished in first place with 10 points. Those of you guys who are checking the scoreboard, it is 1-1. Somehow,
Let go
Appreciate
of the
you guys.
button.
I
I'd like to
finished
thank my
in
wife.
fifth
I'd
place.
like to thank Paul Nelson.
Let go of the button.
I finished in fifth place. I was beat out not by just these three guys, but also I was beat out by let's see, Taylor Heineke and finally Justin Lawrence. Justin Lawrence beat me. I don't know how that works out, but it did.
I don't know how I didn't get 5 points for guessing the Luka
Colts mascot
Josh
blue.
Allen thing. I didn't know how I didn't get 5 extra points.
Like we always said, there's always next show. Tune in next time. We'll be discussing NFL playoffs. You know,
Let's do it.
Who's going to be playing whom, or whom is going to play? I don't know. I don't English. Listen, I got creative English. We're going to be talking about the college football final. Okay, we're going to see if Frank's right or if Alex and I are right. Everything NBA. Again, tune in to us 3 for 3 podcast. We're Alex Gullett, Frank LaFada, Paul Nelson, and our very own stat boy,
Lane LaFada.
Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness in sports. We're out.
Out.